Tanya McCrae spoke with Jeff Freitas, president of the California Federation of Teachers, which represents educators and classified professionals in public and private schools as well as colleges. Take a listen.
You and other CFT leaders are currently on the statewide Back to School Forward Together tour to meet with educators, teachers, and parents as the new school year kicks off with in-person learning. What has that been like for you?
It's been a great opportunity to see people in person safely, wearing masks, talking to the members, the educators, the classified professionals that are opening up our schools for students. This has been an unbelievable time. The last 2 years, basically, we're wrapping it. We have been focused. Our priority has been on safety, making sure that we were safe, the communities, the students, the workers were safe in the last year and a half, and that we're back to school, we're returning to school fully, and it's a safe priority. So that's what we've been focusing on. We've had a lot of great conversations. Everyone is cautiously optimistic. We do know that the variants, the Delta variant, the numbers are increasing, and I think in California are now stabilizing. But we're also being very cautious, but excited at the same time. The vaccine has demonstrated a lot of pushback against this virus. We know that the vaccine prevents people from falling seriously ill, and we've been pushing our members to be able to get vaccinated as well.
Everyone seems to be feeling the combination of excitement and concern at the same time. And keeping California's schools safe, as you said, during the pandemic continues to be a top priority right now. The state's new vaccine and testing policy for educators went into effect earlier this month, and schools have until October 15th to comply fully. How important is that, that educators and schools across the state follow through with this?
It's so important. We need to know who is and who is not vaccinated. It's the information that we need to know, and then to test those people that aren't vaccinated or not reporting their vaccination status to be able to keep our communities safe. We have been finding out, and also this gives us an opportunity to find out how many of what percentage of our population, our education population, are vaccinated. Through anecdotal polling and survey, we believe it's about 90%, a very high number. It's a national survey of self-reporting educators. So that's a number that we're looking at. It'd be great to know what the actual numbers are in every person that is vaccinated. And the vaccination is on top of the masking requirement. We have to keep the masks on for everybody to be able to create this safe environment. So the priority has always been about safety so that we can provide the best education possible. And we know the best education is in person. So safety and education together.
So, Jeff, are safety and education together the biggest concerns that educators have voiced this summer heading back into the classrooms, or were there some other issues that they've raised?
We do have some concerns about the number of teachers that we have and the substitutes that we have. If people do fall ill or do test positive, how do they safely stay home? Or if their kid or their family member, it does fall ill, and how do they take care without transferring that illness to the school environment? Again, the vaccination we know works. The masking we know works. All the research has shown that. And the vaccines keep people from falling seriously ill. So those are a lot of the conversations that we're having with people. And that's what educators have been worried about. They also don't want to go back. Most people don't want to go back to distance learning. There are some students that are still concerned, some families that are still concerned about entering into an environment where the students can't get vaccinated yet themselves. So they may stay remote. So we're having those discussions and how we provide the best education for those students. And we know teachers and classified professionals know we don't want to do what we call the room and Zoom, where we have some students in the classroom and some students on the computer. That is the worst way to provide the education. So we're thinking about safety, but we're also thinking about the best way to provide education.
From everyone that I have talked to in the last few weeks, and that's parents, students, and teachers, it really sounds like there are so many issues in terms of wanting to get kids back to school and in-person learning, but the concerns about what all of that means. But at the same time, remote learning wasn't really working. But for the kids that aren't vaccinated, there's those issues. There's so many things that are really sort of, creating a perfect storm of just not being sure what the best thing is to do. And Jeff, what are the union's biggest priorities during this next school year? Is it simply just getting the doors open and kids learning again?
That's in terms of our priorities, absolutely getting back to school. That's our here and now priority, and then being able to keep the schools safe, to keep them open. We had to close down schools over the last year and a half, or back in March of 2020, because first of all, we had to learn about the virus, and then we had to find protections to protect ourselves about the virus. And as we're learning more, we're altering our policy. The next thing, we need to look beyond a COVID era. And the funding that the governor has provided is the historic amount of levels of funding for our education, being able to apply those funds to have smaller class sizes, more educators, better programs for the students, as well as $3 billion has been dedicated to our community school program. This is a place where we can develop programs for the students so that we can combine the social, emotional, and physical health of these students, as well as the education in a one-stop shop place, our schools. So we're excited about that, and that is a priority for us as well. So these community schools, and being able to grow that idea of community schools throughout our state to support our students, not just for their academics, but also their mental and physical health.
The mental and physical health for the educators and for the students is really paramount. And thank you so much, Jeff Freitas, for your insight and for the work you and CFT are doing for our students right now.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the opportunity to talk with you.